All right, so booth guys, we got something up there. Berkey, we got a question? All right, here we go. Oh man, let's start with a lightweight one right here. How did people live to be such an old age in the Old Testament? So if you look in places like Genesis chapter 5, Genesis chapter 11, you'll see these genealogies that talk about people living like up to 969 years. And you go, man, that's really, really old. And some of them were like having kids in their 400s and 500s. And you go, how does that work? Here's the way that I think that it worked. People have different views, I should say this, about what the meaning of those dates and lifespans are in Genesis. I'm somebody who believes that those years really were real years, that people really did live 900 real years, like revolutions around the sun, like we live, 70 or 80 years today. And I think the reason that it was possible is that when human beings started out, they started out in a state that they were blessed with God. They were made perfectly good and perfectly whole. And God designed them to be able to live on and on and on. It was because human beings wrecked the pattern by rebelling against God that their bodies became frail, and that death became a curse on them, and that they were thrown out of the garden. And so, Adam, he lived a long, 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 long time because the world had not been ravaged by sin in the same way that it was as generations moved on. And the more people lived and the more they introduced sin into the world, the more stuff got messed up, including human bodies. And it's interesting that during the time of Abraham, it says that man's years would be numbered about 120. And then by David's time, it went down, I think, to 70. There's these three phases in the Bible, hundreds of years, 120, and then 70 years. And it goes down, and what you find, and it's kind of hovered around there ever since David, and then with a max around 120, just like the Bible says. It's pretty amazing that way. But I think because the effects of sin had not fully taken effect, that's why people were able to live so long in Genesis.